Just think of it as roast beef. Think of it as roast beef.
Mario can do a wheelie on this thing. You want to turn around so we can look at the folks? Okay, these guys are not just any individuals. They're superheroes. Would you get up in the morning with the injury they had and train to be a Paralympian? That takes guts, that takes commitment, that takes effort. And we're proud of have you here as our guest. So now comes the tough part. I'm going to ask you questions. So, Mario, how did you get started para fencing?
Well, it's really funny because I really wasn't planning on getting into fencing. When I did, I was actually working with a rehab program in Houston, Texas, and helping newly injured patients get back to doing everyday things. And at that particular time in my life, I was very involved in tennis. Actually, I did very well in wheelchair tennis, but on this particular occasion, I was waiting for my new recruit to come downstairs and join me on the tennis court. And while I was waiting for him, there was all this reading material sitting on the table. And I saw, what caught my attention was a picture of this magazine. I think it's called a Spinal Column. Silly name, but from Shepherd. And there was a picture of this guy who was wearing fencing outfit, and he had, sitting in a chair and going, what the hell is that? Anyway, I opened the article, and while I was waiting for my friend, I was actually able to finish the whole thing and got a pretty good idea of what was going on. They were in the process of putting together a program for the first time in Atlanta in preparation for, I know this is going to age me a little bit, the '96 Paralympic Games. So anyway, this was like 94, 90, almost 95. And I was like, sign me up for that. I started literally commuting from Houston to Atlanta on a monthly basis and got involved in that. From that point forward, I had to literally develop my whole program on my own. I had to train my coach how to train me and myself. And we didn't even have frames back then. So it was crazy, but that was how I started.
I started fencing as a pincushion for my brother. He was 4 years older than I am. He was going to Cal State LA and was on the FA team. Actually, no, he was on the Sabre team. And he would come home and suit me up, and then I would be his practice target. And we would do it up and down the grass walkway between the apartment buildings. And it inspired me. I wasn't fencing at the time, but I liked it. I was having fun at it. I've always been competitive. So when I went to school, college at Cal State, I got on the FA team, and I was coached by Delmar Calvert, a very famous fencing master. And I loved it, and I got hurt probably 2 years after I started, and didn't fence for 15 years, so I was hurt when I won. I saw my brother had brought back an article that there was wheelchair fencing in Salt Lake City, at the Salt Lake City tournament. I got back into it in '96, tried to make the team for Atlanta, and missed it by a couple hundred points, but since then made the World Championship team in '98, and then Sydney in 2000, and just going from there. I didn't fence that day, I fenced foil and saber because they're right-of-way weapons, but that's how I got introduced to the sport, and I just loved it ever since.
I didn't know that your coach was my first coach, Delmar Calvert. Yeah. I fenced Maestro Calvert at Los Angeles Athletic Club.
When I first started fencing, facility,
credit to you is my saber coach, Boris Sokol, used to carry me up stairs to this YMCA second floor so I could get access and fence with the rest of the fencers and get lessons up there. So kudos to you and what you're doing to this necessity.
Thank you. Okay, what is your favorite memory for all parafencing Paralympics you attended?
I'm sorry, I had to backtrack just a little bit. I just wanted to say that both Gerard and myself have such similar experiences, but completely different. And we both were in fencing, able-bodied fencing, and then had some major upheaval in our lives, and then got back to it exactly the same 15 years later. So I find that just amazing, just for us two alone to have that in common. Anyway, oh my God, there's so many different things I could look at and think about what that might be. But just off the top of my head, probably when we were at this World Cup in Madrid, or was it Sevilla? I can't remember. I had hit my head. And we were in this competition, and there's this one, I know this is hard to believe, but occasionally some of the referees aren't totally on the up and up. And this guy was like headed out for me. I knew that. But anyway, I was fencing, I don't even remember who it was, but I was moving back and forth and trying to give them my best shots and avoid getting hit. And then somehow or another I managed to pull myself back so hard that I literally did a backflip off of my chair and landed on my head. I've done some diving and I've done other crazy stunts as well, and I knew to tuck my chin in at least. So I rolled pretty good, but you could have heard a pin drop in the room. It was like, oh my God, he's dead, or at least a quad. So, I got up, I got back in my chair and finished about one, of course. And I didn't win the tournament, but I got a bronze medal at the World Cup. And it was my birthday, so it was like, what a better birthday present I could have got, I don't know, but that was just, and to be with all my friends and family, Gerard, our coach, and other members of our group that aren't here with us today, but that was the best birthday I've ever had.
My favorite story was the saber team bout, and I think I mentioned this before. First Gala, it was a team event where we were down, we were getting beaten pretty bad, we were facing elimination. The team event was 4 of us, usually 3 A's and a B or a combination, but we were short-headed, there were only 3 of us, and Mario, myself, and another teammate were down considerably to the Kuwaiti team. And I was the anchor for the saber team, and went on a 12-4 run at the end and beat them 45-44 to advance us into the finals. But that was my favorite. But there's so many, and it's not so much what happens at the Paralympic Games, but it's the journey. There's the World Cup victories. I had one in Atlanta that also went 14-15 against one of the nemesis in France, Gerard. But having the home crowd behind you really makes a difference. But it's one of my favorite experiences.
Thank you. Great memory. Okay, so here comes the tricky question. If you had a program available to you like the one that we have here at Kern Athletic Fencing Foundation, how would that have helped you in your parafencing journey?
It's kind of like, oh my God, are you kidding me? From the very first year I've been involved with this, I've really been, I wish I could be a stronger supporter, but I so impressed by what they're doing here and the opportunities that they're providing for Kevin and other fencers. And you know, just the interaction between able-bodied fencers and para-fencers is amazing in and of itself. But it really means the world to have a program that supports you across all the things that you need in order to make this happen. You know, it literally takes a village to propel an athlete forward and to be able to do what we're able to do. And I know I didn't do it by myself, that I had people that were there to support me. So I think that is a tremendous thing to have this kind of program and what it can do for the community and for people even outside of the community.
When we started fencing, we didn't have frames. We had parents holding the wheels so we didn't move. They had like masks on so they didn't get hit. And so having a program like this just opens up a new world to any new athlete, and just knowing that they can come and get the support that's needed, because it's not easier with the equipment, with the lessons, with the travel. It's just a tremendous expense. So having a program in place like this just means the world, and I'm just looking forward to the athlete that you're going to produce in this program. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing you're doing. Thank you for this.
Thank you, Gerard. Thank you, Mario. And we'll see you next year at the Gala here. Would you please see who can go faster? Here's Liz. But don't forget, if you have a friend or an enemy